Hello, today I'm going to deal with 10 reasons why you shouldn't buy an electric car, and this is according to some of the comments left on my channel. Then I'm going to tell you why you should buy an electric car based on my experiences.
Yes, it's really nice.
Hi folks, my name is Nigel. Hope you can subscribe and like, and please leave any comments below. So I've been driving for over 50 years, done over 1 million miles. I was a rep doing up to 70,000 miles a year, and also a driver in the RAF. The last 3 years I've had my Tesla Model 3 and I've enjoyed blogging about it. It's done 24,000 miles and we've driven all over England, Scotland and down to Portugal. So here we go. So we'll start off with the first comment, number 1, about and this was because I had posted a video when we drove down to Portugal and we used the Tesla superchargers and had a great time. And the comment was so ridiculous, lost more time to charge the car than they drove to Portugal. Rubbish electric cars. Well, the facts were that in Portugal you make stops, and you have to make stops not just for charging but for refreshments and just to take in the scenery. It's not a race to Portugal. So this comment, rubbish electric cars and driving to Portugal, was a little bit of nonsense really, because as with any trip, it's not a race, and I know there are some people who like to do 800 miles without stopping, but not for me. I do like to stop every couple of hours, stretch my legs and get a coffee, maybe something to eat, and use the loo. Number 2 is someone is saying that he knows of somebody in Scotland who, doesn't say who, it cost £15,000 to replace their battery, and it wasn't covered by warranty or insurance.
These are terrible.
Well, the Tesla Model 3, there's 8 years. I've got another 5 years left, and I think that it's a nonsense comment to say that he knows someone who was charged £15,000 for a new battery. Probably thinking about some of the earlier models. Some of the very early Nissan Leafs had issues, but as battery management improves, it's really not the case now. So that was number 2. Okay, number 3, you should pay your way like ICE drivers do. So glad you lot will be paying road tax. And he's also got a 4th part to this, but the 3rd part, I've always been paying road tax. All my life I've paid road tax. Car I had before this one was an Audi, a stop start, and it was only £30. Now some people are paying up to £500 for the big gas guzzlers, because it's based on emissions, and so it's nothing new. It won't be much. It's not a big deal. Also, it talks about massive depreciation. You lot have it right faffs. I'm so glad to keep my diesel BMW. EVs are rubbish. Full stop. That's it. That's the end of it. He's never had an EV, so really doesn't know what it's like. Yeah, so we are going to be paying road tax, and there's massive depreciation. Of course, there's no depreciation on BMWs. No. You know, it's an absolute nonsense. When I look at the depreciation of the Tesla Model 3, it's about the same as all other cars, including ICE. There are some examples, there's some very bad examples of cars made by the legacy automakers that I certainly wouldn't touch. But and besides, I'm not planning on selling this for a few years. In fact, it's the only new car I ever had, and I spent decades saving money on buying used cars. So where are we up to? Number 5. This person says the home charger in your garage is illegal. Just saying. Well, this just shows the misinformation there is about charging. It's not illegal. Absolute nonsense. And how anyone can believe this, I don't know. I mean, of these comments here, I really don't know if the comments are coming from people who work in the oil industry, or they work for car dealerships who are also going to be losing, or if they're working for the legacy automakers, I don't know. But either way, the comments are there. So 6, 7 and 8 are, I know I should be doing very expensive graphics, but you know. So this person's given 3 reasons. Number 1 is expensive. Well, you can buy a Tesla Model 3 for £12,000 used. I couldn't when I bought this. There was only a few thousand less to save, so it just wasn't worth it. If I was buying now, I would certainly very much consider it, and I wouldn't be worried if it had 100,000 miles on the clock. It might not, it may only have 75, but the chances are it will have 100,000. Not a problem. I've worked out that this is going to last for 400,000 to 500,000 miles based on my degradation so far, and of course on the curve it slows down anyway, the degradation, so I really don't think that's going to be an issue. Second reason, and I'm losing track of what number I'm on now, is high insurance costs. Well, I've done videos on this. It's a more expensive car, so I expect it to be a little bit higher, but it's been in the region of the £300, £400, £500 mark, which I consider to be very, very reasonable. And it is a quality car. It's an expensive car. You can't compare the insurance with this, with a Ford Focus. You just can't. And also not enough charging stations. Well, that's an interesting one here, because I charge at home, and I know not everybody can charge at home, but a lot of people can. I suppose I'd probably struggle if I couldn't, because I live on an island where it's in the north coast of Scotland, right at the very top. There are no charging points on the island, and the closest Tesla supercharger is 177 miles away. But when I go down to England, that's not a problem, because I've got ample range to get to that Tesla supercharger. And even if I didn't, there's lots of Charge Place Scotland's on the way, and GridServe, albeit very expensive GridServe, but not Charge Place Scotland. So that's really not an issue. When people say, I've had comments, I'm 10 miles away from a Tesla supercharger. Well, good luck. That's great. I think I'm at number 8 now, am I? Well, anyway, I don't know. How much renewable energy, solar, do you get at night? It would be interesting to see. Have you not heard of wind? Because the wind today is blowing a lot. Scotland exports renewable energy, and Orkney also does, and everywhere I look, all the farmers have got turbines, and there's wind everywhere, which makes me laugh when people say, well, it all comes from coal. No, it doesn't. And of course the wind, that's why so many people get a good price on charging in the early hours of the morning, because a lot of electricity is not being used. So, and there's also such things as batteries that can store the energy. Ninth comment, I'd put it to you, sounds like a member of parliament, that we need change, but EVs are not going to be a viable answer going forward. In fact, it would seem that they have been a disaster for manufacturers and owners alike. Well, they certainly haven't been a disaster for owners alike. I'm delighted with it. The initial cost was quite high. Like I say, if I was buying one now, I would probably get a good used one, and wouldn't be paying that kind of money. I've never bought a new car, and this was the first. And as far as a disaster, it saves me a lot of money, and I don't like smelly diesel and petrol, so I don't think it has been. And look at some of the comments you get here from EV owners, and have a look on this video and previous videos, and you'll see what they say, and it's all very, very positive, or sort of 99%. All the negativity comes from people by their own admission that say they don't own an EV now, and it's been a disaster for manufacturers. Yeah, it certainly has for some, when you have the CEOs have been rubbishing electric vehicles, and then they trying to sell them. I mean, VW brought out a really inexpensive little EV and stopped making it because they weren't making any money out of it, but it would have been a great addition to the EV range, not all these great big huge tanks that a lot of manufacturers wish to build. Ridiculous. The companies that aren't doing well are those that are years ahead, and Tesla just happened to be years and years ahead of everyone. So, the final one, I think this is a bonus one, I think this might be number 11. Carrying a ton of batteries everywhere you go doesn't make sense. Electric cars should pick up a current from the road as they go, like trams or Scalex toys. You don't have to pay. Well, look, my Tesla Model 3 doesn't weigh as much as many cars on our roads. Lots of Rovers weigh a lot more. If they made a smaller one, I would definitely buy it. So, two things: if your budget can only go up to maybe 12, 15,000, bearing in mind part exchange, I would recommend a Tesla Model 3 or a Model Y, but you probably won't get one at that price. If you can go to new or thinking, please use my link. You'll get £500 off in the UK, $1,000 in the US, and if you buy an even dearer one available there, you'll get $2,000 off. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you can subscribe and like. Leave any comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.